Hello guys, MediEvil Fan over 7 back here again with part 2 of MediEvil Resurrection for the PSP. Yes, and as I already said in the last part, I am doing these in among my MediEvil 1 Let's Plays just to spin them out. But I'm only doing a couple of MediEvil Resurrection ones just now, and then stopping till Christmas. Only because I'm doing my MediEvil 1 ones weekly until Halloween's passed, and I'm just going to release them like whenever they're done. So without further ado, let's just get on to it now. Yeah, we just finished off last time replaying Dan's Crypt to get the chalice, and then we got the hammer, I think? No, it's the longsword I think we got. Never mind. We are starting Hilltop Mausoleum today.
The Hilltop Mausoleum. Think of it as a kind of pet shop, but with less fragrant purchasing choices.
That line used to always stick with me actually.
Oh, Dan!
I'll let him speak first.
Danikins. You are so persistent, I'll give you that. But then so are beggars' babies. And I trample those underfoot too. Look, you really must get it into your thick, exposed cranium. You cannot stop me from conquering Gallowmere.
One bit, bitch.
Already I have transformed the populace into servile zombies and drained the sunlight from the skies, withering many a tomato plant in the process. How could a spindly monovisual carcass like you reverse the momentum of such an epic master plan? And see where your stubbornness has got you? Do you see? You're trapped forever in this necropolis. Still, you could always discuss your predicament with my good friend up there. I'm sure he'd do his best to help you. Sadly, I can't hang about to listen to the musical twang of your tendons. My army is amassed, and it will not be long before my scouts locate the demon claw that will unlock my beloved shadow demons. I must return home to oversee the invasion of this pathetic realm, and possibly take a power nap.
I think they sort of changed his evil approach in this game compared to the first game. In the first game he was just more gothic and evil looking, whereas in this one he's just more sassy and fabulous. I don't know what it is about him. There's just something about him that's very... He just reminds me of the kind of villain that always takes care of his appearance and all that, and at the same time he's still evil. It's hard to explain. He's very high vanity or something like that. But you're entering a house of pain, unspeakable evil. Oh yeah, that's the same book as in MediEvil 1. And to be honest, I actually like both the MediEvil 1 and Resurrection version of this level equally, because they're both very good for their own reasons. I think this level looks very much like a real church. I mean, actually, it has brilliant effects in it. The sunlight beaming through the windows, well, moonlight beaming through the windows. Just, everything about it just looks so dark, gloomy, and this looks like a very medieval-y level. But I think MediEvil 1's Hilltop Mausoleum is actually scarier looking because of all the little carvings on the walls of those scary demonic, what's the word I'm thinking of? Murals? Is that? Yeah, I think the walls and all that are a bit more scary in MediEvil 1, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I just like them both equally. There's not much difference in this level compared to the original, apart from the odd little thing. I think the floors collapse faster in MediEvil 1, so I think that they could have made this one a bit harder by making the floors collapse faster to make it more challenging, because they already collapsed slow enough in MediEvil 1, so... And also, they didn't make much use of the imps in this one. This is the only level they appear in, apart from Scarecrow Fields, which they only control the metal ones. But there's not even many imps in this level, considering it's the only one they're in, so... And yeah... It's not much bother if an imp steals your weapon in this game, because if it steals your weapon, half of them don't even, like, take it anywhere. And the one area that does have imps that steal your weapon actually just ends up behind this wall in this level. You can knock down and collect it. You don't have to pay to get it back, like MediEvil 1, so... Yeah, pretty much, it means nothing if they steal your sword or hammer in this. And yeah, you can just jump over those. It takes too long to use the hammer in this version. Actually, I do really like the look of this one. Look at all those skulls up there and the dead, well, pretty much skeleton in that coffin actually. I like the effects of this room here. And, yeah, but I wish there was like sort of enemies down here just to give the room a bit more stuff in it, like killing more enemies, more treasure in amongst all this, but instead we just only have a rune. I felt like they made they added good effects to this level, but they just cut corners in some areas. But I gotta admit, this is a really good level in the remake. I'd say this is probably one of my favourites. I think it's such a shame this level's so early on in the game. You should expect like levels, I guess, like spookier ones, to be on later in the game because they're quite more dramatic. But it's a shame because it's one of the early levels, meaning that once you've completed it, you tend to like just have it over and done with early and then forget about them later on. So okay, let's see what it says. Stained Glass Demon is a master. Yeah, all these books seem to be the same as in MediEvil 1. I remember saying in my MediEvil 1 Let's Play, preserved instead of preserved, but yeah, if we happen to lose a weapon, it goes behind this wall here. If we knock it down, yeah, if we lose a weapon, it'll just be found here. So if an imp steals one, just come down here and get it. So, like, yeah, if you squish them, it feels good to squish the rat's nest, but you don't get anything for doing it, other than the satisfaction of splatting them everywhere. There's our second life bottle in the game. And yeah, we don't need him right now. I don't find myself going to the gargoyles as often in this game unless I'm needing health. That's pretty much all they're good for in this one. Because I don't need them to top up my shields, because I don't use them half the time because I can. I mean, look, I already can't use my shield. In MediEvil 1 you could use a shield while holding a hammer, but you can't in this one. That's a disadvantage. I like the looks of the runes in this one. They look very stony and kind of shiny as well. I think they look very eye-catching. I like the look of the runes in this one. Oh, the details of this floor looks very nice. I mean, I think this version is much more church-like. It's hard to explain what I mean. But it also feels like, it gives it the underground sort of misty sort of feel. It's like, you could definitely feel the darkness in this level. Even though in MediEvil 1 the level looked a bit brighter, it was still creepier, but I still actually like the feeling that this level gives in Resurrection. And I don't have a music sheet yet, so I'm a bit ahead of myself there. Come on. So, yeah, you can go back this way in this version rather than in the first one. You have to go all the way back round. Instead, you can just actually just jump up like this in Resurrection. Because you can't, he doesn't jump to reach that ledge in MediEvil 1. He does not get us down. Just jump over all that. And we have 2 music sheets in this one to give him. If you give him one music sheet, the music plays a bit more powerfully, and then when we give him the other music sheet, he plays the full soundtrack, and it's a big blast of awesomeness. If you listen to like the full soundtrack on the CD, it plays the full soundtrack, like just sort of all combined into one song. Whereas in this level, it only plays like a bit of it at a time, unless I get another music sheet, and then it plays the other part, and then I get another music sheet and it plays the other part. That's what I like about this level. It has 3 different soundtracks playing to it, but it sort of merges them all into one in the official soundtrack. I think the look of this Stained Glass Demon actually looks better because it looks more glassy and more... yeah, it just looks more like glass and looks more realistic, but I think the one in MediEvil 1 is still creepier, to be honest. It looks scarier. He provides a bit more of a challenge in this one, though.
I am compelled by some primal force always to play this song of fear and sadness. Please, bring me new music.
I'm just about to.
That I may break this cycle of endless misery. Go on, do us a favor.
It's driving me mental. And also, we don't have to worry about getting the chalice first in this one, because once we've defeated the Stained Glass Demon, we can actually go back to get the chalice still. There we go. For giving him the first music sheet, we get a Chaos Rune. And yeah, we only give him 1 music sheet in MediEvil 1, and when we give him that, we just get money on the chalice, whereas we give him 1 in this one, he gives us a different soundtrack, and the Chaos Rune there, and then he gives us another soundtrack for getting the other music sheet, and we also get the chalice. So the music's sort of changed now. I think I have the music pretty low, I'm so sorry, but it is copyrighted, so... I might, like, when it gets to, like, the 3rd soundtrack, I might listen to that probably for a bit, but I can't let you listen to it for too long, I'm sorry. If it does happen to get recognised, though, I will say it's just for the purpose of a Let's Play, and I did do commentary over it, because I'm not sure, because I think they just go with what they pick up on YouTube, and they just leave it up to you to leave a claim if it's valid, so... I got it, like, as much as this game had its faults, I really liked some of the remakes to this level, like this one. I think they remade this one very well. Because I'm not going to lie, just because it's not the original, I'm not just going to say, oh, I don't like it, it's not the original, because I know some people are like that. No, I actually do really like this game, but it does just happen to have flaws in it compared to the original, so... There's no denying this game has outstanding like graphics and textures, but It's just, it doesn't give the same sort of medieval-y feel that the first one gives, but I actually do still like this game. It still has a creepy feel to it, but I think that they've made it more child-friendly, which I kind of admire, but to a certain extent I don't like that, but it's weird, I don't know. Ah, there we go, hear that music now. So I'm just hovering around to let you hear it a bit more. I'll have to hum through a bit of it, just in case. It's good, isn't it? Right, okay, we'll just defeat him now. I listen to that soundtrack quite a lot in the car. Yeah, I listen to my CD of this in the car. I listen to Scurvy Dogs and this a lot. I love those two soundtracks. I also like A Fiery Confrontation, and I also like Comedy Corpses, which Comedy Corpses, that's actually that soundtrack is pretty much just a remake of the soundtrack that goes to the Freak Show in Medieval 2. And like I said in the previous part, I really wish they'd make a remake of Medieval 2, because that was actually good too. I mean, it may have not been quite as good as the first, but it was a classic to many of us, and many of us, like people my age, it holds many memories in us as children. Children. So it'd be nice to see our childhood memories sort of brought back to life. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, I know this is probably not nostalgia for many people who are like children nowadays, but yeah, remember we were children once too, and I'm kind of a child, I suppose. I mean, like, I'm only 18, I'll be 19 on my birthday, but as far as I see that, I'm still technically a child. You're still a child until you're like in your 20s. So I don't think anyone ever really truly grows up, to be honest. It's just what's expected of them. I can't see myself ever growing up. Being an adult's just so boring. Well, I got my. I look at the glass effects of this stained glass demon. It's just brilliant. I mean, look at that dome. That's brilliant effects. And I like how heavy he looks. You know how he's so glossy. I like the heavy look of this stained glass demon. He actually looks like he's actually flopping down when he lands. He looks like he's making an effort to actually lift himself off the ground, and I like that actually. Stop draining my health. Yeah, he is surprisingly difficult compared to the original stained glass demon, but I don't usually do this bad at defeating them. I think I'm just talking too much and I'm not concentrating. Okay, I hope I don't get fooled here, because sometimes when he does actually run out of health, yeah, he's out of health now, but for some reason they always have that tiny winsiest bit of health left that they tease you with, making you think that you have defeated them, but no, they just have that tiny bit left to go. Like, just about all the bosses are like that. I watched a Let's Play this the other day, where someone was also fooled by that. Saying like, that's cheating, that's not fair, he's dead, you look at his life bar, but yeah, it's always like that, it's not a fluke each time. Well, by fluke, that's the opposite of what I meant. Shut up!
I underestimated you, my friend. Dying obviously did you the world of good. That key.
Yeah, well, if I knew that you'd be with me all this time, I think I would have just stayed dead. Sorry, I'm just eating some Skittles. I like the look of the stained glass demon key in this one. We don't get a stained glass demon key in Medieval 1, it's just in something completely different. It's like a skull key, but it's used for the same purpose. But I think it's quite good how we get a stained glass key in this one, because it seems more relevant than just getting a random skull key. Yeah, I think I'll buy some more health.
I trust you find yourself in a...
I always have so much to say about games like this, I can never fit them into one video, so if there's anything I didn't cover in the video that you're curious about my opinion on something, just ask down below and I'll reply. And yes, I do, I always look through my comments section very regularly, and I love replying to your comments, so feel free to ask any questions and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability, because I'm not really the cleverest of people when it comes to giving well-structured answers. Sorry, my mouth's watering from eating these Skittles, sorry. Just double checking I've got literally everything. Did I get all the money here? This is only a Let's Play, so we gotta take our time with these things. If you want to see me just rushing through it, feel free to watch my long play. Yes, we have got everything. So we can get out of here. Yeah, one thing I was meaning to say, this is the first level we play in the game. There's pretty much like a remade version of the original. Like it's remade, but the layout's mostly similar. And it's a remake of the original soundtrack. I mean, you'll know what I mean after seeing my previous video. They didn't give the level an entirely different soundtrack and an entirely different layout. The layout's mostly similar to Hilltop Mausoleum, and it's mostly the same soundtrack, but remastered. Like, the first soundtrack to Hilltop Mausoleum before you give them the other music sheets has less elements in it to sheet 2, and then sheet 3 has the most elements in it, making it more powerful and awesome. I actually really like the work they put into Hilltop Mausoleum in this one. Dan the man.
Tell me, what's a warrior queen got?
I think they made her a bit pornographic for, like, being a child-friendly version of the game.
Shy baby, I've seen you giving me the eye. You may be weak and feeble like
I think she's a bit more,
I
don't know, promiscuous than the one from MediEvil 1.
How are you at
I don't know if promiscuous. I think that's a bit over-exaggerating, sorry.
Only I need another gardener, someone to trim my bush and look after my
Ugh, you hussy.
Here, lover, hold my spear. Grip it tight now, and
Oh.
think of me when you throw
So
it.
are you secretly telling me that you're a man? Hold my spear and grip it tight now. And just swing away. Sorry, I'm just being gross. Unnecessarily. I'm sorry, I'm inappropriate. Right. So, yeah, like usual, I'll do 2 levels per part. So we did Hilltop Mausoleum there. So this time we'll do Return to the Graveyard.
Return to the graveyard.
Hold on,
We went
I might
there
mention this.
earlier. If you have reasonable short-term memory, you might remember it.
Notice anything wrong with that opening title there? It says Return to the Graveyard, we went there earlier. No, we never went to Return to the Graveyard earlier, we went to the graveyard. I always point that, well, it wasn't me who actually pointed that, I think it was my sister who pointed that out to me when I was playing this with her. Saying, we're not returning to return to the graveyard, we're returning to the graveyard, so you should probably said, the graveyard. We went there earlier, now we're returning to the graveyard, something like that. But, well, or you could have just said, the graveyard. We went there earlier. It could have just said like the graveyard and just left the title card saying the return to the graveyard. It would have just made a bit more sense, but never mind. I think it was just for the sake of just having a laugh, really. I think I'm just being too picky. Honestly, yep, we don't actually need this. Hold on. Even if we don't do this cheat here, we don't actually necessarily need the moon rune in this level, because if we happen to be doing good for health and not want the money, we don't actually have to go in here. So yeah, hold up. I can do this. Like, I can do this. Oh, come on. This is only a let's play. Come on, I keep saying this. But it's only a let's play. There's no rush. And come off it. There we go. There we go. So we can actually get in there without the use of the moon rune. So we can just work our way back round. Oh, I forgot that money. Oh, I hope the camera angle doesn't fail me in this part here, because I usually can't see what I'm doing here. And there's not a hidden area, actually, in this level. In MediEvil 1 there was. There we go. So using the stained glass demon key. I don't know if, in the next part, like Alamir Plains, I wonder if I'll do that as one long part, or I might play it in 2 parts. I'll see. I'll see how long it takes me to do it. Because I want to play Galamir Plains before moving on to Scarecrow Fields. And I jumped on that! He just slid right off. Did you see that? That was not my fault. Yeah. I think I'll upload both Pumpkin Gorge, MediEvil Resurrection, and from MediEvil Resurrection, sorry, and from MediEvil 1 on the same day of Halloween, so that you can have both Pumpkin Gorges on Halloween. I think that might be quite good. This level reminds me an awful lot in Christmas time, because I used to replay this one a lot around about my birthday. Well, not my birthday, but you know what I mean. My birthday is pretty near Christmas anyway. So, yeah, I used to keep replaying this one because I just loved killing zombies, and it's one of the last ones with zombies in it, so... and I just thought the level looked pretty awesome, actually. I quite like Return to Graveyard from original, but I actually think this one's a bit more wide open and awesome, but... I think pretty much the effects and look levels is pretty much what's better about this one, but I think there's many things about the original that's better. I still prefer the original overall, but there are things about this one that are better, but there's also things about the first one that's better compared to this. They're both better in their own ways. It's just hard to explain. Behold's missing, perhaps I may have found another location. Yeah, we don't need that rune. wonder if she just collect it anyway for the sake of just not having it hovering there, because I... And also, you may notice it actually has a little spirally yellow thing going around it compared to the other runes. I wonder if that's just showing that we don't need it, because all the others have this little rings going around it that are the same colour as the rune. I won't bother getting it. We don't need it. And also, yeah, this is our first level with the wolves in it, just like in...
An old acquaintance of yours, hey, Dan?
Oh yes, I quoted that in my MediEvil 1 Let's Play of Return to Graveyard. Like, this path leads to undertakers. Another acquaintance of yours, eh, Dan? Al-Salam is irritating. But, yeah, I like the look of this Return to Graveyard, to be honest. It's quite an awesome level. But, this is also another one, like, that my friend Kyle was, well, my old friend Kyle, was playing one time, and he said he was stuck on it, and I said, oh, that level's easy, come on, give it to me. And then he said like that he got to the end of it, but he was stuck on the wolf bosses. I'm like, seriously, that they're the most easiest bosses in the game? But then I was like, oh, okay, they're much harder in this version. So they did make the bosses more difficult in this game, which I'll say is good, because, well, not good because they're difficult, but at least they actually provide a challenge, which I know a lot of people actually appreciate. But I don't know, I kind of like when things are easy, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the wolves are actually pretty tricky in this one, and also the pumpkin serpent's a little harder in this game too. But anything's harder than the pumpkin serpent from MediEvil 1. I mean, that was just as easy as defeating a zombie.
How can I help you, my musty foot?
I don't actually know. What did I come to you for? Hang on. You know what? I just topped up my health and I just realised there's another vial around here. That was a waste of money. Ah well. Well, no matter. This is actually the first level we see death in. Also voiced by Tom Baker.
Greetings, stranger. I'm Death. It is I who ease the passage of lost souls on their final journey. The hours are hell, but I wanted a job working with people. But hold. Have we not met before? Sir Daniel Fortescue! I've done you once already. I never forget a corpse. It's that pesky Zarok. I'm up to my eye sockets in the ex-deceased. Business hasn't been this brisk since the great massacre of Mellowmead. I may have to take on an intern.
He says various of these lines in Pill's Ancient Dead in the first game, but I don't think he says any of the original lines in the actual level itself in this game.
If it wasn't for that evil old madman. But there is a way to stop him.
No, I like this here. Hang on.
You'll need the Anubis Stone. It was used by Zarok 100 years ago to create an undead army. The very army that you fought on the day of your, arrow-based mishap. After that most bloody of battles, the Galamir people acquired the stone. To prevent its power being used again for evil, they broke it into 4 and gave each piece to a trusted member of the realm. You'll need to find all 4 pieces to use the stone's power. Then you can summon up an army that can compete with Zarok's elite guard, the terrifying Phasguls. They sound like a trapeze act, but trust me, they're a lot less fun. Well, I've seen and heard many things on my deathly duties. I could write a book, you know. Of course, no publisher would touch it. All I want these days is romantic fiction and epic poems. Anyway, one piece was buried with the great Moloch chief. His tomb is in this very cemetery. The mayor of Sleeping Village inherited a piece from his predecessor and knows its current whereabouts. There's a rumor that the Witch of Pumpkin Gorge has a piece in her possession, although she may have put that about herself to drum up some tourist fortune-telling trade. Ah, yes, and the 4th and final piece is in possession of the deceased King of Galamir.
King
Assuming
Peregrine.
He is still deceased. You never know these days, do you? I mean, look at you. But if he is, it'll be locked in his castle vault. Okay? You're very welcome. Now go and stop Zarok before he drives me to an early grave.
Yeah, I just mostly skip that part nowadays, but Yeah, I do actually like that mention of the Anubis Stone there. Yeah, they actually gave meaning behind the good lightning that we get at the end of the first game to keep our soldiers fighting healthy. But yeah, there's not much reason behind it in MediEvil 1. We literally just go to the final boss and collect good lightning. There's like literally no reason behind it. Like, what was it doing there, and why did Zarok leave it there for us to pick up? Because that wouldn't have been very beneficial to him. But they actually made a story behind it in this one as to what it was used for. It was used for Zarok, but we're using it for ourselves in this game. So I like how they made a story behind it in this to make it a bit more relevant. Also, I forgot to mention, yeah, Dan has a lot more dialogue in this game. Like, he doesn't like repeat the same line over and over. Although I do like his classic lines from MediEvil 1, but yeah, he has a different line for everything he says in this game. Like, oh, another thing I was going to point out. I think it's actually the original voice actor who plays him from MediEvil 1 who, like, plays his role in this too, or is it the one from MediEvil 2 who plays him in this? Well, I know there's something to do with the original voice actor from one of the MediEvil games playing him in this. Or maybe I'm entirely wrong, but it's what I heard. And another thing oh, hold on. Just kill these enemies first. Just let him run off the edge. There we go. I love it. Look at this part. It looks very Halloweeny. Lovely, isn't it? Okay, we need this rune, but hang on. I'll tell you more about it in a second. What it is I'm planning to do. Yes, we reuse the angels again this level. There's 2 more in this one, whereas there's only 1 in the whole game in the first one, just in the graveyard. And this part's probably a bit confusing to those who are only used to MediEvil 1 and never played the game before, because this bit is a bit puzzling to figure out. One thing I don't understand here though is there's nowhere for the zombies to actually rise from, so I don't know why the zombies actually rise here. Like, there's only like a very small platform under here, apart from the odd pillar, but I can't see how a zombie would be buried under like within a pillar. I don't know. It just seems like a bit of a weird place to bury them. Like, he's just been buried on literally a ledge. I don't understand. I don't know how to explain it, but like under, there's not much gap for him to be buried within. Like, so it gets pretty much just, I don't know, like a centimeter. Now here, I'm not going to get the star rune because I know how to do this part without needing it. So I could just always get it, but I just want to show off. I'm just going to be awkward and just do it for the sake of showing it can be done. If you just want to go faster, yeah, just use the star rune, but I know how to do it without. That's pretty much the only point I'm making. And I don't think I did that right, did I? Yeah, I was meant to turn her towards there. Because I noticed no zombies are rising. I thought, well, hold on, zombies are meant to rise right here. There we go. Oh, take your time, why don't you? There we go. Nope, there's not one more, okay. So, yeah, we can actually, this doorway is actually low enough for us to jump over without actually using the star rune. So hold on, I'll just see if I can time this right, hang on. See, look, we don't actually need it. You can just jump right over it. And it has to be from that side because it's higher level to this side compared to this side. So yeah, jump from that angle and you can get in without using the star rune. And I know you're probably thinking, how on earth are we going to get out? It is possible, but it's a bit more complicated than going in. So yeah, you are probably just better off getting the star rune, but yeah, I was just doing it for the sake of showing it can be done, that's all. Even though I already demonstrated it in my long play, but just for those of you who haven't seen my long play, I'll just show you it now. There's a life fountain around here, I think. Thank God. Well, at least this one was buried on a platform that had lots of space under it. Compared to those other ones who were unrealistically buried. I just imagine, like, them using lava at this part if they were to do an area like this in MediEvil 1, because I've noticed that the parts where there's usually lava in MediEvil 1, there's goo in this. they use goo a lot in this game, which I think is kind of good, because it gives it quite a Halloween sort of feel. I always associate, like, goo and that with Halloween. Oh, just like in MediEvil 1, the blood of the zombies are green. Gooey blood. I don't actually know what the thing is called, but you know the things from Kensington and MediEvil 2. I used to just always call them the posh men when I was younger, but yeah, they have blue blood. And I used to think that when you saw that blue fountain in Kensington with the blue water droplets splurting out of it, I used to think that fountain was made of his blood, like all those enemies' blood. I can't explain what I'm meaning, but it's weird what I thought about the game when I was younger. All these weird little theories I had about it, but Yeah, I always wondered why his blood was blue and all the other enemies were green. So, yeah, here's our first piece of the Anubis Stone here, and also, actually no, I think it's only a piece of the Anubis Stone. Yeah.
A piece of the Anubis Stone.
Anubis
Its
Stone.
power and worth is unimaginable. I know a bar where you can get cash for this.
No, mine. Aww, look at Dan's sad face there. Dan definitely appears to be more of a dork in this version. Like, in this version compared to the first. Whereas we don't get much of a personality from Dan, but I still find Dan likable from the first one. And there we go, look. That's what's just gotten right back over. And I am so happy with how that went. Because I usually fall like once or twice when trying to get back over there. I'm so glad that went right in the first go. Oh gosh. We still haven't got to a chalice yet, but we've still got enemies to defeat just before defeating the final boss. And the final boss in this level is a bit more tricky than in MediEvil 1. And like I said, this is just another level with a completely new soundtrack going to it and a completely remade level, rather than a remastered soundtrack and remastered level. So. Also, the dogs pretty much just as easy as in MediEvil 1, but the bosses are a bit annoying. They're also harder to attack in this one, like the smaller ones, because they're lower leveled. You have to make sure you go like that rather than slashing that, because it's harder to hit them. Just go like that. So if you just keep doing that, they're pretty much as easy as in MediEvil 1. So here we go, onto the hard boss now. Dun 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 dun. I'm pretty sure I've heard the soundtrack that goes to this boss here actually go to an episode of EastEnders once. I'm pretty sure that, I can't remember what his name is, Ben, is that it? I think when he went through the house and switched on the TV, this soundtrack was playing. I could have sworn it. I don't know if many of you know what EastEnders is. It's if you're from the UK, you'll know it's a British soap opera. So. Okay, Stephen, you gotta be tactful about this. Stop running into things. Be tactful. Okay, 3 in a row, that's good. This part's not so bad. I'm just trying to spare my health for the actual bosses. Gosh. I'm not doing as well as I thought I would. I'm getting panicky because if I lose, I will lose and restart the whole level. But if I do lose and restart the whole level, I'll just replay it all and just edit up to this point. Okay, I'm just trying to be cautious because I don't want to lose much health. So I'm sorry if it means me taking too long to do it. Ah! I'm trying not to swear. People don't like me swearing, but I do. I don't even like swearing that much myself. It's just become a habit because I'm always around people who are swearing, and I just sort of, it's just become a norm whenever I'm angry. It's not so much I just hate it if people swear. It's just not. I just don't think it's really necessary a lot of the time. Unless you're angry, you just can't help it. But there we go. I think I've got enough health to do the bosses. Hopefully. I think when we're in Galamir Plains, the next level, I'm going to buy a lot of health. Yeah, I kind of like how the bosses do provide more of a challenge in this game. But anyone who's ever playing this for the first time has not played originals, if you like this game, I know for sure you'll like the original, because the original is very good. And actually, I think they're probably equally good, but I think this one is only slightly less as good because it cut corners in many areas, and also, yeah, such as like levels cut out, dialogue and use of characters been reduced, but apart from some, the use of Zarek was better in this game. But I prefer what kind of approach they went for him in MediEvil 1. Like, he's just more of a spooky sorceress, whereas he's more of like a sassy little thing. Like, it's a bit more fashionable in this one. I can't explain what I mean. I was like, the thing is, don't get me wrong, I hear everyone's argument in this game. It is very, it's not as good in many ways, to be honest, but I do like it. I still think it's worth buying. It's very fun to play. I think some people are very harsh on this game. It's not as bad as people make out, really. But when you read about the reception on Wikipedia now. Apparently it did receive mixed reviews. So I think this is more a love it or hate it game, but the thing is, well, actually I do actually kind of love it, but I just love the whole MediEvil franchise as a whole, and if I was to call myself a MediEvil fan, I'd be a hypocrite to say I didn't like this, but... There we go. I did pretty good at that. Better than I thought I would. Because I usually do pretty badly at those bosses, but I pretty much lost no health since I defeated all those little wolves.
Oh, never mind. But we have escaped. Galomir Plains lies beyond that
Beyond
gate.
that gate. He's so contagious. He's got me copying him. So that's return to the graveyard done. We'll get the chalice
Welcome to
now.
the Hall of
We've
Heroes.
already got the chalice, you know what I mean?
I went to the Hall of Zeros once. It's quite dull,
Chicken
but at least they
noises.
don't all make chicken noises when your back's turned.
Oh, pardon me. Ah, goodbye, cruel world. Whoa. Yeah, I was trying to sound like the Dan from MediEvil 1 there. And MediEvil 2. I think they both have the same sound effects of falling. Whereas this is like... or something like that. I can't do it real. Oh, and here's Raven Hooves in this one. He gives us 3 different bows in this one as well, but he doesn't give us a 4th item. I don't really feel like he... I don't feel like he delivers the lines as well as the original Raven Hooves. That's one thing I've got to say about this game. I don't think they delivered the lines as good as the originals did.
Carrying 9 stone 11. Crazy.
I think I've already said that though. I
Yourself
think
a
it's not
favorite
awful, I'm
move
sorry.
for this skill. Take my long bow. It is the weapon of noblemen. My breeding you don't quite have, Mr. Johnny Die Lately. But you do your best, I sure. Ciao, Bell.
Am I stupid to not know what that reference means? Because I don't know Johnny Come Lately and Johnny Died Lately. I don't know. How does that... I don't know. I don't know, must be a joke among Galamirians, but I feel like I'm not a true MediEvil fan for not knowing that, but I just don't know it, okay, I'm sorry. But we could go off to do Sleeping Village next time, and we could... Stop it. And we could do Scarecrow Fields. But I think next time we will play Galamir Plains, either in 2 parts with it being such a long level, but I do actually want to play Galamir Plains because we get like a really awesome weapon in that level that actually kills every enemy with 1 hit, and even bosses only take like 2 hits with it. So yeah, we'll play that level and we'll get the wooden sword, and the rest of the game will be a complete blast. So yeah, I'll just save the game here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! And stay tuned for more MediEvil 1 Let's Plays 2. Take care.